Hey there, it's Kat and this is Brews and Reviews. So today I'm going to be giving you guys a really long-winded goals video, and that is basically because I could have filmed 3 separate videos here, but I didn't really want to throw goals at you guys. I'm sure you're getting enough of that. It's January, everybody's got goal videos. So this video is going to kind of come in 3 parts. We have my autumn goals wrap up, so that was the goals that I set for myself back in autumn. I filmed a video on it. I'll go through those and see how well I actually did. Then we're going to have my 2020 overarching goals, so basically anything that I'm planning to do throughout the year in 2020, I'll briefly go over that. And then we're going to have my winter goals. So yeah, I'm counting winter as January and February, and these are just things that I'm planning to do in January and February, so yeah, we'll go through that. And really, I better get on with it because there's quite a lot of goals to go through. So in my November bullet journal, I actually created this spread, which is just kind of plain, very plain, but it's just my goals for autumn, and yeah, I didn't quite complete them all. So this is broken down into personal goals, channel goals, and bookish goals. So we'll start off with my personal goals and see what I did there. So the first goal was to lose 7 pounds, and that didn't happen. I put on about 7 pounds, I would say, in that time, probably a bit more than that. Yeah, so that didn't happen. The second goal was to participate in NaNoWriMo. So I wrote about 5,000 words, and then I got distracted by other things because I was really busy in November and then I had a really bad mental health time. So, like, I kind of participated in NaNoWriMo. I gave that one like a half tick because I started and then things happened. Life happened. I'm always really bad at the November NaNoWriMo anyway. The Camp NaNoWriMo one is where I thrive, but like the November one, November is a busy time. The next goal was to start editing my first draft, which I just didn't do. I didn't do that. The next goal was to watch 3 films on my films to watch list, and I watched Cargo, What Happened to Monday, and Happy Death Day. So I actually watched 3 of them. Wow, I completed a goal, yay. It was like a really easy goal, but still. The next one was to watch 2 series on my shows to watch list, and I watched The Haunting of Hill House and Chernobyl, both of which I really enjoyed, and I'm really glad that I actually pushed myself to watch them. I'm really bad with actually going out and going, I'm gonna watch this film, I'm gonna watch this series, because I'm just like, I could just put it off, otherwise I'll get sucked into watching them. And The Haunting of Hill House was partly a contributing factor to me not doing NaNoWriMo very much, so yeah. I still watched it though, I watched them. So that's it for my personal goals. So I completed some of them, but probably the less important ones. So now we're on to channel goals. My first channel goal was to reach 800 subscribers, which I kind of thought was a bit of a long shot because, I don't know, growth, me, we're not usually best friends, but somehow I'm on 830 subscribers right now. Like, I'm pretty sure that's where I started the year. And I don't really know how that happened. Can you guys explain to me how that happened? Any new subscribers want to tell me why you subscribed? Because this crazy mess, like, what? I really am baffled by that whole thing. That's really confused me, but like in a lovely way. I'm just so bad at saying thanks, but thanks, because I don't know why you're here, but thanks. My second goal was to post videos twice a week, which I did do consistently. Yay me! Consistent posting. I actually hope to be more consistent this year, but that's for later on in this video. My next goal was to host the Get Graphic With It readathon, and I did do that. I did that with my lovely co-hosts Stephanie from Stacks on Stacks on Stacks and April from April Sarah. And honestly, it was just so much fun. I'm so glad I did that. It's just a really nice time. And my last channel goal was to start my sketch series, and I did that. It's called Stranger Than Fiction. The first episode, I will link it down below, but yeah, I really need to continue on with that because I've got so many ideas. I just haven't had the time to dress up because all of Vlogmas happened, and Vlogmas was a bit mental for me. So I plan to continue with this really soon, in case you were wondering. So now we're moving on to my bookish goals. And my first bookish goal was to read 6 more books on my 2019 TBR. So this is the TBR that I wrote at the beginning of the year and put at the back of my bullet journal. So I don't know if you can see it. It was on here. I had not done very well up to November, so I wanted to read 6 more books, and I actually did. I read The Lost Hero by Rick Riordan, Mouse by Art Spiegelman, Indisputably Doris by Charles Heathcote, American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis, The Knights of Dark Renown by David Gemmell, and The Gunslinger by Stephen King. So I'm happy about that. They were books that I wanted to read from the start of the year, and I was like, I'm gonna get this done. So I did. The next goal was to take part in Pokemon Catch-a-thon, and I did that. I did quite well, actually. I managed to catch like 132-ish Pokemon. I didn't get them all. I was sad about it, but I took part, I had a lot of fun, and I read a lot of books, so that was a good time. The next goal was to read Strange the Dreamer, which I did do, yay me, because I've been putting that one off for ages, and I was like, no, I'm gonna pick it up, and I did, and it was really good. I really enjoyed that one. It was more lyrical than I usually read, and yeah, I was surprised that I enjoyed it as much as I did, but I really did. The next goal was to read Dr. Sleep by Stephen King, and I didn't do that one. I didn't get around to it. I ended up watching the film without having read the book, and I still really enjoyed the film, so I want to read it. I'll probably pick it up at some point, but I'm not that desperate. Next goal was to read the Nevernight Chronicles, and I did, all three of them. I reread Nevernight and then continued with God's Grave and Dark Dawn, and I fucking loved it. Just really, really happy with reading that series. I'm so glad that I actually finished it, because I was like, I couldn't stop. I read God's Grave and Dark Dawn back to back, because it was just so good. And then lastly, my other goal was to just work on my physical TBR, so basically any book that is existing on these shelves and the ones that you can't see, yeah. I was trying to read that. So I actually read 3 books on that, so I'm going to count that as like a sort of win. I at least worked on it, so I count it. So the things that I read for that were The Son of Neptune by Rick Riordan, Under the Dome by Stephen King, which was a massive chunker, and I was like, I'm never going to get to read this, and then I did, so that's an achievement in on itself. And I read Antony and Cleopatra by William Shakespeare. I think my autumn goals went really successfully, and I just sort of say thank you to Jade from Jaded Reader, because this whole autumn goals thing was something I saw on her channel, and I thought, you know, I'm going to try it out and see how it works for me, and I feel like it really, really worked for me. I am a really big believer in being able to tick things off. It really motivates me, so apparently this is exactly what I needed to actually complete some goals. So I'm definitely going to be continuing on with it this year, as you can see from the fact that the rest of this video is full of 2020 goals. But yeah, so this is all thanks to Jade from Jaded Reader, and if you haven't checked out her channel, you definitely should. So now we're moving on to my 2020 goals. So I'm going to go over some of them quite briefly, because I am going to be explaining them in other videos, and the ones that I'm not, I will tell you more about here. So the first goal for 2020 is to work on a 20-book 2020 TBR. That was a mouthful. So I'll leave a link to the video down below, because that one's already up right now, and it just tells you which books that I want to read before the end of the year. Very much similar to my physical TBR one that I had written down in my other bullet journal from last year, so yeah, it's pretty much the same. Next goal that I'm setting for myself is the Black Shelf project. I'm definitely going to be explaining that one in another video and go into more detail on it there, but basically I have a shelf which I call the Black Shelf, and it's full of a certain type of books, and I want to read them so that I can know whether they need to be hoisted off of my shelves, because I've just had enough with them being there and not being read, and like them being questionable books in nature anyway, that I usually don't enjoy when I read them. So I'm like, do I just get rid? I'm gonna read them, then I can see if I can get rid of them, or if I want to keep them, then cool. But that's what the Black Shelf project is. So another goal of mine is to read larger books. I really have this problem where I put off reading large books, and by large I mean anything over 500 pages or 15 hours of audio. I just don't really do it that much, and it's like just an issue of mine. I really should do better with that, so that is something I'm trying to do throughout 2020. I have a challenge for myself that I want to read 12 books that are over 500 pages or 15 hours of audio, and I feel like that's very achievable. That's one large book a month. Surely I can do that. Like, that shouldn't be that hard. Obviously I would like to do more than that, but I want to set that as a minimum, because I didn't do that last year. I only actually managed to read 11 that counted over that total, so like I feel bad. I feel like I did a really bad job with large books last year, and I'm hoping to do better this year. The next challenge that I'm setting for myself is to read 20 thriller or horror books. And that's just something that I want to do throughout 2020. There's no real rhyme or reason, there's no specific books that I want to put on that list, but I just want to read more of them, because I tend to find that when I'm doing things like Thriller-a-thon, I get really into them and I read loads of them and I'm like, wow, yeah, I love thrillers, these are great, but I don't always go, I'm going to pick up that random thriller that I've not been sort of pushed to read. It's been on my shelf for ages, but why would I pick it? I want to do that this year. I'm going to pick them up, like random ones that I don't really know much about, like, I don't know, The Caller. I have no idea what that's about. Maybe I should pick that up, you know? I have a lot of thriller books on here. I'm going to read some of them in 2020. I'm going to read at least 20 of them. I also want to finish a lot more series in 2020, so that is one of my goals. I've just basically got a list of series that I've started, or series that I want to start and finish in 2020, and I'm going to make it a major focus this year. My next goal is to host a readathon. hopefully I'll be hosting a readathon in 2020. Hopefully I'll be hosting more than one if I continue to co-host the two that I'm already involved in. And yeah, I really enjoy hosting them, and I'd like to be better at hosting them. Now you see, I have a problem in that I am so socially awkward that me hosting readathons is like me trying to be social, but I'm like afraid of being social, and it's a little bit pathetic. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's super pathetic. So I'm gonna try and be better next year. Just like take pity on me, please. The next goal that I have is that I want to create an original tag. I created 2 original tags last year, one with Meg from Tome Infinity, and that was for the Tome Infinity and Beyond Readathon, round 3. And the other one I created was the End of the Decade tag. You feel free to still do that, there's still time, it still was the end of the decade. It's like a wrap up of the year as a whole, so feel free. So honestly, I'd like to create another one. I have a few sort of milling around in my head that I'm thinking maybe would be fun. There's a lot of tag videos around though. I always feel a bit like, oh, would anyone want to do my tag if I did a tag? But like, I don't know. So my next goal is more of a like a me behind the scenes kind of goal, and it's that I want to plan my videos a month in advance. Like, I know that sounds like a really long time in advance. I was doing it for Bookmas and I was like, wow, actually this is really helpful. I've got a bunch of like a backlog of videos and I can just sort of post them and not feel pressure about when I'm going to film them and when I'm going to edit them, because I was already like a few steps in advance. I'd done the editing and I'd got like a final video even with thumbnails all sorted, and I was like, whoa, this is way too organized, what's going on? But it was really helpful. So I think maybe proceeding into 2020, I actually want to be doing that a bit more. I'm going to try. It's working for me so far in January, sort of, but it is. So we'll see how that works. Lastly, my next goal is to do more buddy reads. I have asked you guys about this in a previous video and I am sorting out a few at the moment. Really excited to do more buddy reads because I didn't do very many in 2019 and that was a mistake. Because I feel like sometimes buddy reading can get you through a book that you wouldn't already pick up. Or it just adds an extra element to something. Some of my sort of most memorable books that I've read on BookTube have been through buddy reads. Like one of my favourites, Shadow and Bone, I read that with Faye from Mystery Date with a Book. And one of my least favourites, Winter Song, by, I don't even know who that was by, but like I hated it. And I read that as a buddy read too. And I kind of missed that, so I kind of want to do more buddy reads this year. I've at least got one definitely sorted because I'm doing it right now with Kayla from Crack Into a Good Book, and we're reading Wildcat, and that's going to be a bunch of fun, so I'm really excited about that. Okay, so now we're moving on to my winter 2020 goals. So these are more specific goals. So they take into account the wider goals that I've just talked about and just a couple of other things as well. So these goals are again separated out into personal, channel, and bookish goals, and we're just going to go right through it. So the first personal goal that I have is to watch The Witcher. Basically, I want to watch a show every month, at least one show every month, and I picked The Witcher for January because everybody's fucking talking about it, and I really wanted to know what the hell the Toss a Coin to Your Witcher song was. Now I know. Now it's in my head. Now I've been playing it on 1 hour loops for more hours than one. It's so addictive though. I just can't. So I read The Last Witch at the end of last year and I was like, yeah, I've just read that, it's fresh in my mind, stay in the world, watch The Witcher. So that's what I'm doing. My next goal is to hoop once a week. I don't know if you know this about me guys, I hula hoop dance sort of thing. And I've been sucking at it throughout 2019. I just haven't been doing it very often. It could be because it was really cold and my fingers get really, really cold. So I haven't been doing it, but I'm making myself hoop at least once a week because I don't want to lose it. I really enjoy doing it and I'm just really good at procrastinating, so yeah. My next goal is to find a colour to paint my living room. Like, I know these goals sound like really inane to you guys, but like, promise. Like, I've been trying to paint this living room for over a year now. It's been on my mind and I found 2 colours that I want in this room. So I've got like this really nice blue colour for the feature wall, which is the wall that's behind you guys, and then I have a grey that I want to paint the fireplace, and that's going to look really nice as well. The third colour, the rest of the walls, I can't find it. I just can't find the perfect match that isn't too dark or like too like the wrong colour to go with those 2 colours, because I'm just really sad about it, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna get it sorted, I'm gonna find a colour, and that's that. The next goal is also a random house goal that I have for myself that I've been putting off for fucking ages, and it's to cut down the giant bush that's in my back garden. Now, I'll see if I can get like a video of the bush, but it's huge and it's horrible and I hate it, and it's overgrown so much. But I'm really bad at gardening, and I really procrastinate gardening, like to the level where sometimes my neighbour cuts my lawn for me because I'm terrible. I mean, it doesn't get that overgrown. I promise I'm not that bad, but like, oh god, I promise that I am an adult. I promise. Yeah, so I need to cut down the giant bush because it's a mess. It's a mess. My next goal is to watch 3 films that I haven't seen before, and these can be any films just as long as I haven't seen them. So I'm probably gonna look to Netflix for this because Netflix, I pay for you, reward me with film I've not seen. Any recommendations on a film that I should watch? Just any random films that I might not have heard of. Any recommendations welcome. And my last personal goal is to watch 6 films at the cinema, and that shouldn't be hard because I have a goal for myself to watch 3 films every single month because that makes my Cineworld Unlimited card like valid. So I need to do that to actually sort of make the money that I'm paying worthwhile. It should be easy enough. I'm pretty sure I'm going to nail this in January because there's just a lot of films coming out right now that I really want to see, so now we're on to my channel goals, and my first goal is to post videos twice a week. So that's the same goal that I had for autumn. I actually want to do more than this, but I'll be content if I do just 2 videos a week. If I say this out loud, I feel like I'm going to fail on it, but I'm going to take the risk. So my plan is to post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Friday, Saturday. We'll see. We'll see how that goes, but it's something that I want to try and do. I want to try and be more consistent with the time that I post, and we'll just see how that works out. My next goal is to post another book face video. If you guys don't know what book face is, it's basically when I put a lot of makeup on my face and turned it into a cover of a book. That was really fun. I had a really great time doing that, and I really liked how it looked in the end. I feel like I can find a couple more books on the shelves that are interesting to look at and put them on my face and see what happens. I really want to do another one of those, so if you've got any suggestions, leave them in the comments below too. My next goal is to post another video for Stranger Than Fiction, which is my sketch series where like fictional characters work in the same office, and I have an idea for the next one of this that I'm really looking forward to doing. I have a couple of ideas, but there's one of them that's sort of sticking out in my head right now, and I'm like, yeah, I want to do that one because it should be funny. I mean, it's funny in my head at least, so there's definitely less exposition than last time in this one. It's just kind of expecting you to go with it. So let's go with it. And now we're moving on to my bookish goals. The first of which is to read 1 book that is over 500 pages or 15 hours of audiobook. That is for the challenge. I don't know why I only chose to do 1 book, but I have only chose to do 1 book. I'm only going to force myself to do 1. If I read more than 1, then that's fine. But logistically I should be looking to read 2. Why was this not my goal? I don't know. Anyway, the goal is to read 1. Hopefully I'll stick to it. The next goal is to read 3 books that are on my 2020 20-book TBR. So any book that appears on that list that I wrote, I can read 3 of them. The next goal after that is to read 3 books that are on the Black Shelf project. Yay! I guess weird, sexy time books. Yay. The next goal I have after that is to read 2 thriller or horror books. I can definitely do that in January and February. Surely. Thrillerathon is in February. Of course I can do that. What am I talking about? I can do that. The next goal is to read 2 books that exist on my physical TBR. So any book that exists on these shelves that isn't in any of the other challenges that I need to do. So this gives me free rein to read anything else, to be honest, and you know, that's cool. I'll go with that. That's fine. Am I giving myself too many goals? I don't know. And my last goal is to finish a series. I don't know which series it is, but I'm gonna finish it. I've got to finish 1. I can finish 1. That shouldn't be too hard, should it? I don't know. So unbeknownst to myself, I have set myself a challenge of reading 14 books in January and February. Guess I'm gonna have to get reading. Anyway, I hope you guys like these goal videos. They've been really beneficial to me, so I don't know what you think of them, but they're really helpful to me, so here it is. And I hope you don't mind that I combined all these 3 videos. I didn't really want to overwhelm you with goal videos, because if you didn't want to watch a goal video, then you could just skip this one and, you know, pretend I never said anything. So what are your goals for 2020? Leave some of them down in the comments below. If you like this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!